quick one here. Not going to spend a lot of time on this. As you grow up, it's interesting, young children, you have a hard time shaming them. They have a real, shame is just not an issue for them. Little 2-year-old, they might be ashamed for a moment, but they really don't even understand the concept. They do something wrong, it easily floats right by them. It isn't something that they comprehend. They're not there yet. Shame is a part of, as we mature, as we grow up, shame is certainly a part of our mindset and our lifestyle. And I've often thought about the fact that, and there are many that talk about the fact that their shame has been taken away. And I just want you to realize that there's a sense where, as we've talked about in the past, the irrevocability of the things that we've done. You can't change what you've done. And not only you remember it, but other people do too. And if they weren't there, you remember it. It's just something that is. And many times the shame that goes with those things is irrevocable too. It's there. Now, I just want to put this all in context for us, because sometimes we get the impression that as believers we're not supposed to have certain feelings. We're not supposed to think certain thoughts. We're not supposed to remember the bad things or the feelings that we had. The feeling of shame that we had for many of the things that we've done. But the truth is, all of those thoughts and those feelings are still there if we're being honest. And that's because, from my perspective now, and I think that it's true. It was interesting in Isaiah chapter 6, we have the prophet Isaiah, who obviously was pursuing God, but when he was confronted with God's presence, how did he see himself? As a person that was undone. And he not only dwelt among a people that had unclean lips, but he himself was stained. Why? Because shame is part of the human condition. And we all have something that we can think of and remember. That's just humanity. Now, why is that God didn't just wash that all away the moment you got saved? Truth is that he wants us to remember what we would be like apart from him. Now, let me clarify. The moment you get saved, there is a sense of release. And that release is that you're not ashamed to be in God's presence anymore. You couldn't be in his presence prior. All of the things that we had done stood between us and him. And let's be honest, who we were, just who we are as a person, stood between us and him. That sin nature that's so much a part of us. But the moment you get saved, all that's removed by the death of Jesus Christ and his resurrection and our faith in that. And we have the right to be in his presence. Shame in his presence melts away. That doesn't necessarily remove the feelings that we might experience around people or when confronted with past events. But thank God that we don't have to live in the power of those feelings anymore. That the true experience of our life, the thing that is most real for us, is what our faith has accomplished. And that is that we are accepted in the beloved, that we're free to come into his presence because of his sacrifice, not ours. And that he has removed the barrier and our guilt. He nailed it to his cross. Now, people might remind you, because the whole world lives in shame and they love to make other people feel just as bad as they do. But boy, doesn't it get at the devil's, it gets his goat, man. It gets him going. And other people too that are living in his domain. When we recognize what we were, but we realize who we are. I hope you'll do that today. Yeah, that's a great place to be. Till next time, friends. God bless.